Hello everyone, and welcome to today's stream. I am Mage 1011, and today we are playing some Final Fantasy XIV. At Post Endwalker, Part 6 and Side Story, Part 5. Now, as it says Side Stories, we won't only be doing Post Endwalker MSQ, we will also be doing side stories. However, those side stories require us to be in a duty finder, which we are going to be in both of these duty finders for the first circle for the normal raids, and the Alliance raid duty finder for quite a while. So what I decided to do is pop those up. At the same time, while I do MSQ. Hopefully we won't hit a point where we have to do a dungeon before one of those pops. Anywho, once more unto the void. Vashon's eyes seem to brighten at your arrival. Wolfmage, as always, your timing is most fortuitous. I wish to share with you news concerning Zero. You will recall that in exchange for Aether, she agreed to aid us in our search for my sister. At your suggestion, I began providing Saint Aether in the form of food. Zero has found the arrangement to be agreeable and has been eating steadily. In large part due to that, she claims to have already made her full recovery. If you and the others are ready as well, I would set forth for the void once more. Excellent. I shall inform your Stroies and then go collect my other vessel from the office. In the meantime, might I ask you to fetch Zero? She was absent when I visited her chambers earlier, but I suspect you will find her in the corridor connecting Yuja and Kama. It seems she's grown partial to the view of the city at it affords. Once we've attended to our respective tasks, let us gather here. Hopefully, due to the duty roulettes, I'll have more chances to. Due to the early morning duty roulette, I'll have more odds on getting into the Alliance raid. That quest. However, I'm not counting my chances. Let's see, Megadita. Where's our quest? Our quest is over here. Just as a check, we're gonna withdraw and remove this first circle and rejoin. See how long the wait is. 30 minutes. Yeah, that figures. Hopefully, due to more people being, we're gonna focus on the Alliance, right? And hope that due to oh, it's on the upper levels? Meaning it's on that pathway above. Oh. Meaning the closest one is actually here. So yeah, an early morning stream. Now, as of sometime next month, I won't be able to stream every day, or not as early every day, due to me having to start doing actual things with my life. But yeah, 0.
Everyone is so carefree. Unafraid and unconcerned in spite of their weakness, and how easily their lives could be torn apart in an instant. Such luxuries are lost to us. We have no hopes or dreams, and even the release of death. Only hunger. Others are a means to an end, at times a literal one. We forge covenants with men and come here to feed, or to die. I thought it would be no different when I was summoned by Xenos. Lives were tools to him, to be used and discarded at whim. In that respect, he was a void-sent at heart. But towards you, and you alone, he behaved differently. And I cannot fathom why. What was it that drove him? What made him choose such an end? But enough about that man. He is dead and we are all better for it. Why are you here? Was there something you needed? So you're heading back now. Then as per our bargain, I will go as well.
I'm hoping that the server travel reopens before I have to so I can
Everyone is here? Good. Let us set forth for the void once more.
What is it? He's calling.
What is the meaning of this?
Unless I'm mistaken, that was intended for one of your kin. Who?
It was for the briefest of moments, but I felt her. Ashdire.
I thought she was in the void.
As did I. Yet the presence was unmistakable. Thus did I call out, only for it to fade and vanish.
Perhaps she crossed over to the source, then immediately turned back.
I do not know. Could she have found a way home?
The how of it aside, if she was indeed in the source, there may be clues where she came through that could lead us back to her. Where exactly was it that you felt her presence?
Far to the north. That was all I could discern.
The north, you say? Beyond the bounty? Garlemald?
As good a place to start as any. My apologies, Zero, but your return to the Void will have to wait.
I told you before that I have no reason to go back there. Do as you will.
All right. I presume you wish to stay here in Radzat-Han until we return?
You've kept me amply fed. I wouldn't be averse to helping you on your search.
I love how she tips her hat in thought.
If Ashdire was indeed here, other Voidsent may have made the journey as well. Very well. We would welcome your company.
If it's decided, then I'll contact our associates in Garlemald. It's me. Still talking everyone's ears off, I trust? Understood. We'll see you there. We're to rendezvous at Tertium. We'll need to teleport to make it there in time. Can you?
Aye. I know it well from my time as an avatar.
Then it seems we're all set.
If there is nothing else, let us see to our final preparations.
Gods reveal, lands tremble. Sister, was it really you? We have no reason to doubt Breaker. Let us depart for Garlemald as soon as we are as possible. As soon as possible. So that was a dragon's roar. Quite a trick, imbuing one's voice with aether. A cold reunion. Estinian is understandably bewildered. By all accounts, Ashdaya is Golbez's prisoner. Yet if she was in the source, it could be that she simply managed to escape from the void, if only for a fleeting moment. But that is mere conjecture. If we went in truth, if we want the truth, then we must go and find it. Come, let us make for Tertium. Our friends are waiting. It's beginning to look like we have to wait for... Oh, it auto-teleported us. It's beginning to look like we're not going to be able to do the Alliance Raid quest line. However, we can test the raid quest line. That, however, is a 7-minute wait. That is actually doable. I trust you know the associates who will be joining us. Hopefully they have been keeping well. People live in such places, do they? Not that I would presume to know their preferences, but it seems uncomfortable. I thought to depart from Radzahan sooner, but Yashtala insisted I bring warmer clothes. This vessel does not feel cold as such, but she reminded me that so long as I am Vashan, it would be prudent not to appear overly conspicuous. Is anyone else from the MSQ around? Such as Euless, or, nope. No one else. Talk to Astinia.
Any moment now.
My friends, 'tis good to see you again.
And you. I was worried that the cold wouldn't agree with you, but you're both looking quite well.
You get used to it. It helps that there's no shortage of fuel and heaters like before.
Glad to hear it. Have you been working in Garlemald all this time?
We have. Though the worst is behind them, the people still have a long road ahead. With the nation in ruins and the leadership void yet to be filled, there remains a lack of direction, a pervasive sense of aimlessness and worry.
Still, everyone wants to make things better. And we're here to help. A lot of Garleans wanted nothing to do with us, but they're starting to come round. Slowly, but surely.
It sounds like quite the undertaking.
Indeed, it has not been easy. But we've been able to make progress thanks to the cooperation of like-minded souls. The allied nations continue to send supplies, which allow us to meet basic needs such as food and shelter. Meanwhile, Euless and a number of soldiers have begun a restoration initiative, with more and more volunteers joining by the day.
Like Alphino said, they've got a long road ahead of them. But we'll get there together, one step at a time. But enough about events here. What brings you to us? And with new company, besides.
This may take rather a long time to explain, but bear with me.
The 13th? After traveling to the edge of existence, I thought you'd keep your escapades closer to home for a while. But I suppose there's no stopping you. Not that I'm one to talk, of course.
The heart of an adventurer cannot be denied.
at least invited me too. Surely there was room enough for me and Grahar in the undersea vault.
I thought you were busy.
I know, I know. I only meant to tease. Mostly. But on a more serious note, are we sure it's wise to keep Xenos' former avatar around? I understand how you came to work together, but nevertheless...
You're right to be cautious. I'm a void sent, after all. But do not conflate me with Xenos. To recall my time in his service, it angers me.
Is that so? I think we'll get along just fine, you and I.
Now that we are all caught up, to the matter at hand. As we were about to resume our search in the void, I felt the presence of my sister Ajdaya in the source. Somewhere in the far north, perhaps even here in Galmald. If you have seen or heard anything out of the ordinary, I must know.
As a matter of fact, we may have. In recent days, we have had to contend with a surprising number of Voidsent. And not the lesser kind that occasionally manifest, but ones possessed of considerable power.
You think they might have been summoned? By whom?
We're not sure. But as Euless reminded us, practitioners of a certain traditional Garlean art rely upon void-sent servants. The very same I believe you have mastered. While there are no known Reapers left in Garlemald, we can't rule out the possibility that some are working in secret.
To summon not one, but several powerful Voidsent is no small feat. But if Ajdaya was indeed called from the void...
Then it is likely the same party is responsible. Alternatively, the etheric confluence at the Tower of Babel may have triggered an expansion of natural fissures one could use to cross over. But I think that improbable, if not impossible.
Then we must assume these events have indeed been orchestrated.
Well, summoned or no, we've been trying to track them to their origin. It's the mountains to the east, we think.
Can you guide us there?
I would, but the terrain is too difficult to traverse on foot. Nor is flying an option due to the winds.
Too much ground to cover in any case. Is there no way to narrow it down?
There is one place we thought to look first. An isolated village rumored to have once been home to a Reaper order.
That would indeed make an excellent start. Though the question of how to get there remains.
Euless may be of assistance. Let us return to Camp Broken Glass and consult him.
We're gonna queue up for both of these. Also, return to Camp Broken Glass. Also, travel. Aether currents. Oh, they've reduced the amount you have. In the patch, before the patch, there were a lot more Aether Currents. They reduced the number of them. Nice, okay, but not the quests. So, we have all the tunable Aether Currents in Garlemald. Let's check Tertium and see if there are any Aether Current quests here. They will be marked as blue quests. The only blue quest around here is this one up here. Let's see if it's an Aether Current quest. And we'll do those. Children are our future. A woman with startling blue hair is in search of her son who has disappeared without a trace. Excuse me, sir. Have you seen a little boy with hair a similar color, a similar shade to mine? He's my son, and I can't find him anywhere. It's all started when I told him we ought to seek refuge in your encampment, and he started wailing and sobbing like I'd never seen. But the next thing I knew, he was running hell for leather goddess. Hell for leather goddess. Goodness. Who knows where? I'm worried he may have left the station altogether, and the streets are above are rife with danger. Please, could you find him for me? Oh, you will? Bless your heart. I know my son. He's probably tried to return to our house to the north of Paltum Nervum. Try there first, before anywhere. He'll be easy to recognize, I should think, what with the color of his hair and all. We're gonna mount up. Oh, we got Doggo. We're gonna This is an attune quest, a think quest. So we're gonna do this as our painter class. Given that it's a level 80 quest. So, we're going this way. These enemies are slightly higher level than me, so I'm gonna try and avoid them. Do, 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 do. Boy was fine. Search for the azure-haired boy. Aether, another block straight. Who are you? Mother sent you? Tell her I won't go to the enemy camp. I'm going home. The boy with the sky blue hair has made good his escape. You had best resume your search. There we go. Destination. We're gonna put you on healing duty. Stop following me. Once again, the boy with the sky blue hair has taken flight and will likely be looking over his shoulder for signs of trouble from now on. With a wary sigh, he resumed the hunt. Oh, this is one of those. Perhaps I lost him. Going home no matter what. Duty failed. Okay. I hate these things. Ah. Boy with blue hair. Perhaps I lost him. What? That's- He's gonna go around that. Must have been the wind. Perhaps I lost him. Must have been the wind. Must have been the wind. Just gonna walk around. I hate these missions, but we have to do them to unlock flight. There we go. Duty complete. No, our home. It was here, right here. You again, leave me alone. I'm staying here to build a new house, bigger and better than the old one. The child has escaped your grasp again. Though this may be considered as considered as a precariously tiresome endeavor. Remember that he is only a child and knows no better. You should find him before he comes to harm. Avoid those. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. Azure-haired boy. Why do you care so much? We're enemies, remember? Why are you trying to help me? How would your mother feel if something were to happen to you? I don't care what you say. We don't need your help. But Mother's worried. I should go back to the station. So we're gonna, instead of running through enemies, we're gonna teleport to Tertia. I slid the wrong way. This has a 20-second cooldown as a dash. Keep. I was wondering when I would see you again. I'm happy to report my son has returned. Poor creature. You should have seen him. Tears pouring down his little cheeks, crying his apologies to me. I know that you were the one who found him, though he didn't mention a word of it to me. I almost couldn't believe my ears when he said he wouldn't mind moving to your camp. He was dead against it only hours ago. What could have happened, I wonder? What? He was attacked? By that horrid Magitech, you say? By that horrid Magitech, you say? Goodness, that must have been quite a shock for my little man. Thank you for coming to his rescue. There is a solitary lesson to be gained from all of this, though, one that I hope he retains. Do not scorn a proffered hand when one is in need, whether that hand be friend or foes. At any rate, thank you for finding him. It's not much, but please, I insist. And that's one Aether Current quest. We almost have flight in this area. Now we go to Camp Broken Glass, where our main scenario quest is, and the rest of the Aether Current quests. Yay! Nope. No. No. We're using Gil. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. First, let's head over here. Best delivered cold. Oh. That is actually, one of the duty finders I was waiting on. Please don't drop out. That would be horrid. There we go. Ugh. I'll save them. I must. This appears to be one of the warders, but I'm afraid... This... Order of Command. Ekaros. I was already... What is this? Ow. Immunio. Damage buff. On red, it looks like. Need to be on green. Oh, stack on me. There we go. That's going to be a slight and a... And I'm fired, so... Duty finder complete. Duty complete. Ericthonius. I did not want any of those items, but I got them anyway. And Ericthonius is face down on the floor. Themis. That was a thrilling display. If I may be so vaunting, the warriors I spun from your aether fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth after all. We should wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robe of a warder, and I would be very curious to know what drove him to attack us on sight. Mage, he stirs. What came over me? It's coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm of desperation, anger, and I leapt at you, though I knew not your intentions. Pray accept my apologies and my thanks. Had you not knocked some sense back into me, I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. I'm Ericthonius, a warder of Dios, Pandemonium's highest lair, and the place where we're in now. One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandemonium? The creations interred within Aspedalios have been set free, and stalk its halls to no end but violence. That is not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? No, never. Each level of Pandemonium is under the charge of a key warden, who keeps strict control over the most minute aspects of their domain. They're selected with great care, and their loyalty to Master La Habrea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realized that I had become separated from my colleagues. I remember a chorus of whispers assaulting my senses, and afterwards only foolish flashes of rage and fury, then blackness, from which I awoke to find that whatever had overcome me was gone. I see your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind. Perhaps the self-same ones that saw you separated from the other warders. Whatever had taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you've come here from The surface must mean some word of our word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Horror among hoarders. So Pandemonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within. By the same individual or individuals that released the captives and set them upon you, no doubt. Such knowledge avails us little here, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Miss, was it? You said you worked for the an organization under the auspice of the convocation. Were they to receive word of what has transpired here, what measures would they take? Doubtless they would consider this place a lost cause. Pandemonium's ties to the outside world would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. As I thought, were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of La Habrea would never risk that, despite what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reason to work with haste. If we cannot expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. You would go alone. I won't leave the others warders to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They wouldn't abandon their duty. They would see the creatures return to their cells at all costs. So I must do the same, Demas. I know the request is about to make you as I'm about to make his to make of you is a monumental one, but please say not a word of this to the convocation until I've been given a chance to set things right. Forgive my rudeness, Erithonius, but my decision cannot be swayed by emotions. You would be consigning yourself to an early death. Strength of resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back ere we've made an excessive survey. So, for the time being, there is still slightly more than resolve to rely on. I knew you would be all too eager to join us. Each moment since you fell from the sky has been more interesting than the last. More and more you remind me of my dear friend. Which goes some way towards encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. So you agree to help? For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of Pandemonium yet hold. So for the moment, the time is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Wolf Mage have set upon. Demas and Wolf Mage, yes. Thank you. The warders owe you a great debt already. We shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandemonium's halls by our side. A pity a party of three is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of two. Now, let us turn our attention to rescuing your colleague. Perhaps it would be wise to approach the gates in case any have followed you out. Let's see, purple materia. Demas. It seems our investigation will be quite the ordeal after all. I still find it hard to believe that La Habrea knows not of what has transpired here. Whoever the mastermind of this crisis is, they do not lack for power or cunning. Under the surface, Ericthonius is peering into the depths of Pandemonium. Yes, not a sound to be heard from within, which means neither creature nor warder has made it this far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once. Forgive me if I misunderstood, but do you mean to rescue the warders and the creations both? Naturally, though they may be dangerous, they're valuable research subjects, and I wouldn't see our labors, our untold hours of study go to waste. I dare say La Habrea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if he had cause to report this incident. If we had cause to report this incident to him. Smile. I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. Ah, so you have met him before? I was under the impression he rarely visited Pandemonium. I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility. That is to say, La Habrea's predecessor in the position of chief key warden. Her name was Athena, and she was a researcher with the wards. Was she who appointed me as to this position, in fact. I see, I did not know there was a chief key warden before La Habrea. Your motivation to save your research subjects is not entirely driven by duty to the wards. Then you wish to preserve the work of your mentor. You have the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas of how to go about that, however. I am a mere warder, and I cannot wield interment magics. But of course I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use here. If you recall, during our battle earlier, I bound you in ethereal shackles. Interment is a more refined and powerful magic based upon the same principles. While both are used to keep our subjects docile, only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use interment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Fascinating. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcraft. Actually, La Habrea himself established their foundation, if I recall. While shackles are meant to bind an object in place for a short time, interment freezes the very space around it for as long as the caster wills it. Indeed, while the illusory being you summoned in our fight suggested as much, I see your knowledge of magic is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of interment, and I've been lecturing you like a child all this time. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understanding of how the invocation interacts with the natural laws of the world that would be needed to cast this said spell with a consistency. While I consider myself well versed in various magics, I would be ill-advised to assume the duties of a key ward without instruction. That being said, if I were to learn more of interment and its inner workings, perhaps. Leave the fighting to me. You two can figure out the rest. I dare say we can do just that. Earthtonians, you implied that what prevented you from performing the interment was lack of magical capacity. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I can't say for certain. I've never heard of such a thing being done. I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites, an incantation, flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep, and we would have to start over. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spell cast so many times that their motions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Very well then, let us work out the specifics afterwards. Once we do, we can test our methods on one of the escaped creatures. Though I suppose there is the matter of finding one. It would be foolish to rush blindly, lest we find ourselves surrounded with naught but the untested stratagem at our disposal. Nay, I would prefer to engage a single creature that Mage could dispatch on his own if the spell goes awry. Agreed, and I may have an idea in that regard. I recall seeing the Hempicamos wandering the waterway during my fight. Perhaps it's still there. Few of the subjects housed in Ampheldios are found in fond of water, but I believe we'll be able to emerge and engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. Then that shall be our first target, or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the interment magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with that task. As dependable as ever. Once you have given it a thorough trouncing, we shall bind this Hippocampi with the keywords magic. Until then, my illusion shall fight by your side. The Hippocampus will be alone, but it's daunting. But it's a daunting opponent nonetheless. It warps. Its magic warps the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. Yes, I'm still doing raids. Aspheldios, the second circle. And we're gonna switch the first circle for the second circle and enter the queue. And while we do that, we are going to go back to Garlemald. We're taking the hobbits to Garlemald. We're taking the Lala to Garlemald. We're taking the Lala to Garlemald. Hold it. And we're going to do a side quest while we wait. Specifically an Aether Current side quest. Best Delivered Colt. The commissionary officer has her hands full and is in need of an extra pair. Oh well, now here's a sight that warms my heart. I never thought I'd have the honor to meet a hero of your prestige, let alone beg you for your aid. You see, I've got a shipment of supplies to send to Tapper's Den, and having someone who knows the lay of the land by my side should go a long way to ensure its safe delivery. I defend it myself, but I have to carry the bloody thing. If you'd be so kind as to escort me, I assure you I'll make it worth your while. Well then, I'll be waiting outside the gate of camp. Meet me when you're ready, and don't take too long. Monsters abound these parts. And while we do this quest, we are going to be Pictomancer. There you are. I knew you'd have the heart to help a soul in need. Okay, we need to... She's gonna be following us, and we need to go to Tapper's Den. Magnaglockias. It'll be some time before we've mapped the entirety of this vast expanse. It stretches north as far as the eye can see, unhospitable to even the hardiest of explorers. It's a wonder that the Garleans survived at all, let alone went on to form the Empire. Seeing the Magnaglockias with my own eyes, however, I've gained some understanding of their desperation. The cerulean burns. This is only hearsay, but I've been told those masses are formed when cerulean bursts forth from the earth and comes into contact with the surrounding water, freezing instantly and capturing that moment of violence forevermore. The water mixed in it prevents the ceruleum from being set aflame, so we can't use it as fuel without refinement. The amount of ceruleum you get after all that work is barely worth the trouble. Pure ceruleum is wrested straight from the earth. That's what those rigs you see off in the distance are doing. So I've heard. Here we are, safe and sound. Couldn't have done it without you, friend. Now that all that's left is to deliver the goods. Let's enter the cave and get some shelter from these freezing winds, eh? Well, that's good enough. Well, the goods have been safely delivered, but I'm afraid I have one more task to rent you. Of course, I'd do it myself if I could, but I'm afraid this calls for someone with skills I lack. You're not obliged to help me again, but seeing as how you're already here, maybe you wouldn't mind hearing me out. We'll do that later. And back on over to Camp Broken Glass. But yeah, we're doing side quests. Also, I noticed just today that they've reduced the number of Aether Currents you have to find in Endwalker. Thank Glob. There used to be like 10 for each area. Do they do that every expansion? Like reduce the number for the earlier expansions? Let's see here. In pursuit of power, Remy Lenoides would like your opinion on something. Just who I was looking for. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Remy Lenaud of Ishgard. I've been put in charge of our arrangement with Tappers Den, you see. However, the very first of the Tappers to come bearing ceruleum has asked quite a lot of us. I dare, if I do say so. They wish for our help in getting Jetanara Platform G up and running. The very same platform that's at the head of the Imperial's primary energy pipeline. What's more, he's a Garlean. I was convinced the only engineer left in Tapper's Den were from conquered territories. In any case, I'm not qualified to judge the motives of the man. I feel much more at ease if I had someone of your experience helping me make the call. Thank you for your willingness to assist. Let's go and speak with the Tapper in question, then. He's a man by the name of Apsulus. I suppose you must be the friend Remy Lenaud wanted to fetch. You have my thanks for getting him to agree to my proposal. Do not misunderstand. I have yet to agree to any such thing. I merely wanted someone else present during our talks. Very well, though I do believe my proffered deal would be a boon to us and the Elsbard contingent alike. I used to work on Jetanara Platform G, you see, so I know more than most about the facility and its operations. That may be so, but your relationship to the facility notwithstanding, why should a guardian such as yourself still be taking refuge in Dapper's Den. We've been led to believe that the former workers residing there were from other territories. You're right on the technicality. I swear I was a supervisor rather than your typical staff. When the platform went down, it only seemed right that I stay with my crew. I always thought we were close, but living alongside them in Tapper's Den has made me realize that I took them and their skills for granted, and that's to say nothing of the blind eye I turned to their struggles. That's why I came to you. It's high time I be of some real use to them and everyone else, if we're lucky. If you manage to get the platform back in working order, it'll dramatically increase our capacity to pump refined cerulean for everyone in the region. Sadly, we're more than a few hands short of a full workforce, not to mention the lack of supplies, which is precisely where you come in. Help us get things up and running again, and you'll have your share of the ceruleum coming out of the rig. You can't come up with a more mutually beneficial arrangement of trade. So he says, what do you think? I'm a little uneasy about this. What should I say? Yes, indeed, leaning the same way myself. Ultimately, what he says about the potential benefits is true. Nevertheless, I doubt the higher ups would assent to this. I suppose that's how it goes when you're dealing with military types. For what it's worth, I do understand the hostility to hesitancy to throw your lot in with someone from a hostile nation. Thus, part 2 of my proposal. I shall do you a service to prove myself worthy of the contingent's trust. I had a look around the fringes of your camp here before you arrived, and I've spotted a few ceruleum engines in need of repair. If I fix them up, your supervisors would have no reason to suspect that I want to see you driven out. Less reason in any case. Assisting us with use of local technology would go a long way, I imagine. That said, I have not heard anything about ceruleum engines we've scavenged breaking down. It's not as if they're entirely useless yet, but I am guaranteed they're not running as they should. Given the opportunity, I could have them working more efficiently and safely. You are welcome to accompany me while I do so. That way you can ensure that I don't get up to anything suspect, and then vouch for me with your own superiors. I have no questions. I trust you will sense anything amiss. Let us begin with a proper introduction. We can get to proper inspection. We can get to work as soon as you're ready, Mage. My apologies for dragging you into this. I do appreciate the help. Keep an eye on him when you go to inspect the entrance. Though the ultimate objective is to get the engine running at full capacity, the purpose of this inspection is to work out what parts will need. However, I would hate to fumble something and be accused of sabotage, so I'd appreciate it if you could be the one to lay hands on the device. Never fear, I'll be right behind you, telling you what to look for. If we inspect, say, 3 of them, we should have a decent idea of what needs repair. Lead the way. And Optios is accompanying us. I suspect they'll be inside the buildings. Ah, there's one. So that's what they look like. Oh, there's one. I suspect there is one in the command center. Oops, I didn't mean to move there. Praise be to your deft hands. I have an idea of what our next step ought to be, though perhaps it would be best to apprise Remilnod of our progress first. Where is he? Our engines. Alas, I fear that each of those were what we examined are guaranteed to break down sooner or later, should you continue to using them in their current state. Seriously, you jest. I swear it on my integrity as an engineer. You are in dire need of instruction in the proper operation of cerulean net. You saw the little lamp lit on the top, lit up on the ones you touched on the, when you touch the switch, correct? That only illuminates when there's an issue with the engine. They were switching off for want of fuel when the settlement was abandoned, no doubt, which prevented them from burning out. Only to let them freeze solid. Instead, ere you lot turned them on from the state they're in, I can only assume it didn't occur to you to warm them up first. I noticed you have heating technology of your own, but it will do you no good should the engines to power them break. Now will it? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain from my assistance. I am a machinist from frozen climes myself. What you say sounds possible enough. Very well. On behalf of the camp, I formally ask you to repair the cerulean engines. I suppose that means I will take responsibility if anything goes wrong, so you may as well use your own to enhance it this time. How's the spirit? I knew you'd come round. And there's an additional side quest there, but we're going to do that later. Let's see. How many more Aether Friend quests do we have in Garlemald? 1! No, wait. I was looking at Mari Lamentorum. And I was looking at... yeah, it's 1. Stand at station. Gallia scans her surroundings, but for what or whom? I've seen you before. In Tertium, yes? I was part of the first group transferred here. But there's someone I'm trying to find. A small boy. Red hair. Have you seen him? He's probably still refusing to budge. Oh, my apologies. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Gala, First Legion. I've been doing what I can for the refugees, though I suppose I'm one myself. You see, I've always tried to help those in need. Some call me a busybody. In fact, before joining the military, I was a member of the Vigiles Umbali, and it was our duty to keep the citizens safe. Old habits die hard, though, which is why I'm determined to look for that lad. He's been separated from his parents in the chaos, and he won't leave the station without them. The thing is, there's no place for a child his age to be fending for himself. You've seen the conditions here, there. He needs food and warmth, which you and yours have been kind enough to offer. I should go back to the station and try persuading him to join your camp. I could could I trouble you to accompany me? It'll do him good to see you're not the monster he probably thinks you are. Thank you. Well then, no time to like the present. And are we going to have to stop on our way? No. Ella, if my prediction is correct, he should still be around here. His name is Valusus, but most know him better as the Scarlet Locks. Considering how reluctant he is to leave, I doubt he'd answer if we tried calling him out for him. Would you mind helping me look? Is he in here? In the command center? Nope. A boy with scarlet hair. Nope, not in here. Who are you? Valusus, we've been looking everywhere for you. Still refusing to join everyone at the other camp, I see. I'm not going anywhere. Not without Mom and Dad. Don't you see? It's for your own good. I know you. You're here. I came here with Euless, didn't you? Please, you've got to listen to me. Mom and Dad are alive. I know they are. No one saying there aren't. Sorry to burden you. I have a feeling he'll be more cooperative once he's got this off his chest. Hear him out, would you? And that's the completing of that quest. However, we are going to do the follow-ups for all these quests at a later date. Because now we have flight. A flight. Has another map down with flight. Anyway. Under the surface we're gonna hide, and we're gonna show the map. And we're going to the main quest. we're gonna switch to Reaper so we can actually do the quest. Okay, let's talk to each of the NPCs. Zero. The village of Voidsent users. Lest you think I have feelings on this, I don't. What others do you do is not my concern. The people here are struggle to survive as it is. The last thing they need is for Garlemald to be overrun with Voidsent. I expect it's been a while since you spoke with Eublis. He'll be glad to see you. Nothing appears to be out of the ordinary here at camp. Let us see what we find at this village. I had tempered my hopes, but thanks to Alphnode and Alize, we might yet learn something of Ashdaya. I knew the twins wouldn't disappoint. Oh, Wolf Mage, what a welcome surprise. Oh! I'll get back to this cutscene once I've done the second circle and unlock the next one. Second circle, under World Unsunder. Mythic creation. I can't read that word. Nope, that's not gonna happen. Wait, there's two directions? What the fuck? That's there we go. There we go. Someone seriously opened the chests. Yes, they did. Filling my inventory with stuff I don't want. You miss? That was a trial by fire, or water, I suppose. But I had faith that we would see it through. So long as we had your stout arm, of course. I knew that you were no more mere mercenary, but to make such clean work of the hippocampus, something seasoned fighters scarcely have occasion to visit pandemonium, let alone display their skills. Mastery takes all forms, indeed. Needless to say, our plan worked to perfection, in no small part thanks to you, too. Themis' power was more than enough to complete the interment. Spellcasting was never my strong suit, but that almost made me feel like a proper magus. Really, having seen your abilities firsthand in your fight with Mage, I beg to disagree. Shackles is the one exception, and tis only because I've been forced to practice it since I was but a small child. Other magics leave me feeling completely out of my depth. Regardless, it seems luck is on my side, and to guide you to me, we may prove the impossible possible after all. After witnessing the hippocampus's capabilities, I should not blame you for wishing to avoid engaging any further creations in the place of their choosing. Alas, I doubt we will have the luxury. Fires of creation. Themis is pondering the road ahead. While our success in sealing away the hippocampus is certainly heartening, the fact that we have yet to see any other borders concerns me. The key worders of Anthelios is nothing if not cautious. Doubtless he has gathered what orders he could and retreated to a safe area. Let us hope so. It occurs to me that I know little of the key warders besides their magical prowess. Is there aught more you can share? Of course, a man by the name of Hesperos is in charge of Asbeldios. Not only does he have thorough knowledge of the creatures here, but he takes great pains to be a mentor to each of the warders under his charge. He has done much to ensure that I flourished here, in spite of my ineptitude at magic, and I have always known him to be the sort of man who faces difficult decisions with unwavering composure. Furthermore, key wards are not only mentors, masters of interment, they can also bend the hallways of Pandemonium to their will, with creation magics. With all this in mind, I am certain that so long as Hesperos guides them, the other warders are safe. I can see why absolute control over the inverse is imperative. Had we forced the hippocampus to adhere to arid sands instead of the waterways, I suspect the battle would have ended much more quickly. In any case, if this Hesperos is as capable of carrying as you say, we would do well to seek him out as soon as we can. He has, like as not, taken your colleagues to a secure location. The safest place would be the innermost circle of Asbeldios. From there, they could flee to Ffxiv if hard-pressed. Even should they have sought safe haven within the other circles, if we make for the fourth, we ought to encounter them on the way. Indeed, and we shall gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation within Asbeldios, which will be essential to determining whether we ought to continue to Aptosis. The rub, of course, is that I myself possess no power to bend the circles to my will. Instead, we must proceed through the central corridor, which was barred by the Phoenix. Last I checked. Phoenix. I have heard the name before. The fiery bird with life eternal. Beyond unquenchable brilliance, the preferred concept boasts nigh boundless reserves of power, if I recall. Truly an exemplary feat of creation magics. Perfection is ever built on the backs of failure, however, and Lahabreus suffered countless missteps during his experiments. he was hardly the only one. This phoenix will be but one of many attempts at the concept gone awry. Far from evoking wonder, our phoenix is a creature of fury and wrath, and seeks only to turn the world to ash. Thus was it confined within Pandemonium. Development of the concept continued elsewhere, but as the moons turned, more and more researchers abandoned the project as impossibility, save for La Habrea and its wards. When I received word that at long last La Habrea succeeded where so many others had failed, I was nearly overcome. Pray tell, how did the warders of Pandemonium celebrate their master's accomplishments? I don't believe we did. The research of the words of La Habrea has little consequence to our work, save for those rare times it charges us with a new specimen. Truth be told, I don't remember anyone making note of the occasion. But enough of reminiscing. We must make ready to confront the Phoenix. While it's possible that it flew off to some other wing of Pandemonium, we would make that assumption at our peril. Better to assume that it will need to bring Asphaldio's most unruly subject to heel. I certainly see no reason to delay. The Phoenix's power over flame will avail it far less in a barren corridor than elsewhere, so we may as well so it may well serve us to subdue it sooner rather than later. What? It seems whoever is behind this can alter the space around us at will. We face an uphill battle. Possible. If those were creation magics at work, then that means Let us confront that reality after we have conquered the enemy in front of us. Every drop of our focus should be shall be required if we are to enter the Beyonds. The third circle. And we're gonna queue up for the third circle and our duty finder. And then we're going to go back and talk to Euless. However, I'm gonna go quickly get something to drink. Nope, stock my water. And now to talk to Euless. This would be so much easier if I was able to visit another server. Oh, Mage, what a welcome surprise. I see you're traveling with a large crew as usual. Not to suggest that that's an inconvenience to us, We'd be happy to share our supplies with you and your allies, should you require any. Apologies for if we interrupted you, Liz, but there is a matter we wish to discuss. We've just finished our routine briefing, so you can So you came at a good time. Is this about the Void Scent? It is. From what we can discern, they're coming from the mountains to the east. Practitioners of the Reaper arts once lived in that area, did they not? Yes, they had a village there in the Lapis Mandolis caverns. The scythe wielders focused forge pacts with Void Scent and took to battle with the beings at their side. For a time, they played an invaluable role in our military, but the advent of Magitech saw them fall out of favor. And when some were unmasked as insurrectionists, the order was outlawed, and the village is believed to be long abandoned. Speaking of their art, it seems you picked it up. Who was it that taught you? Well, I suppose it's neither here nor there now. My sister has been taken captive by Void Scent. I sensed her presence in... Jesus fucking Christ! Oh my god. I was not prepared for that. You startled me. Sorry, Zerix. I will drink. Hello. My sister has been taken captive by Void Scent. I sensed her presence in this land and have come in search of her. Also, hello, Aurelius. If Void Scent have been sighted here, then I have believed there is a connection. We should like to investigate these caverns you mentioned, but Alphanode tells us they are not easily reached. I'm afraid so. Deep snow and tremendous winds, tumultuous winds rule out walking and flying. If you want to get anywhere you're going to need a magic tech snowcraft. The last one remaining functional. The last remaining functional one has broken down. Should still be over the Cerulean legions, where it was abandoned. Is there anyone who can fix it? Perhaps the former engineer said Tapper's Den. Their duty included transporting cerulean tanks to Tanara Platform G using snowcraft. I expect they had to maintain a few over the years. That's worth looking into, I'd say. In the course of delivering provisions, I have come to know the people there quite well. If they can help us, I'm sure they will. May I ask you to accompany her given the presence of Void Scent, it's best that we avoid traveling alone. In the meantime, will you not tell me more about the mountains? I would like to learn as much as I can before commencing our search in earnest. Come with me, I'll introduce you to someone who's well versed in the local geography. Alize, was it? I wish to speak with you. In that case, why don't you come with us to Tapper's Den? We can chat on the way. Whoops. How's my currency? I need like 800 to get the next piece of gear. Oh yeah, I have flight now. I can do that. Forgot. That's the whole point of that little side questing segment earlier. If you want to eavesdrop, be my guest. It doesn't matter to me.
What was it you wished to talk about?
Why do you help these people? What is it that you stand to gain?
I'm sorry?
You don't act on behalf of a higher power, nor are you bound by a contract. In spite of this, you help them. Why?
And there I thought it was something serious. I help them because I want to. Because it's the right thing to do.
But what do you stand to gain? You didn't answer the question.
Didn't I? I followed my heart. What I got out of it came after. Was there anything else? If not, let's keep moving.
Right. To act not out of obligation or in pursuit of gain. To simply live. And they survive like this.
To explain for those who don't understand why she's asking these questions, she is a void scent. Her kind act on contract to gain either someone's life force or something in return. They do not act without gaining something in return. So she does not know why people help just to help. Oh, Zero, you sweet summer child. Yeah. Now take into account that her entire world functions on this principle. Like, the entire world she's from functions on this principle. We should get back to it. But before we do... Are you alright, Zero? Did you say something that... Did I say something that confused you? Or... No, I'm simply trying to understand your perspective. If you wish to continue, I'm ready and able. Well, that's a relief. This isn't the sort of place you want to mull things over. It's not much further to Tapper's Den. I doubt we'll have much trouble finding an engineer when we arrive. So let's speak with the first one we spot. Yeah, he's from an alternate universe where the entire way her world functions is by you give something, I get something. If you don't give me something, I don't do anything for you. That's their entire world. Whether it be life force, or otherwise. So yeah, she is learning that you don't have to gain something to do something. Because it's the right thing to do. This is one of the engineers, I think. What? Wait, I know you. You're the one who roughed up the guards. After you left, your contingent friends came along. Our lives are a lot easier now thanks to them. They understood our plight and offered to help, whether we wanted to stay here or return home. For that, we're truly grateful. We're grateful to you too, Alize. The trip across the lake is hardly pleasant, but you make it all the same to bring us provisions. But don't mention it. We're just glad we could help. We can help. That said, we were actually hoping to ask a favor of you today. We need a magic tech snowcraft repair. The one abandoned in Cerulean, Ignis. We were told you might be we might be up to the task. Ah, so you wanted to ride the mammoth. That's what we took to calling the crafts on account of their size. As often as I used them on raids, I know a thing or two about their maintenance. I'll see if I can get your mammoth roaring again. It's the least I can do to repay your kindness. Wonderful. Please come with us back to Camp Broken Glass and we'll take it from there. So far so good, Wolf Mage. Let's be on our way. checking my achievements for rewards. Just doing a quick skim. Dang, there's a lot of achievements. Okay. Anyway. Go over here. Thank goodness we were able to find someone to help with repairs. Don't worry, the mammoth is in good hands. You mortals are more sensitive to the cold than I realized. My body is made differently, so I feel nothing. Welcome back. I presume this is the engineer who will help us with the craft. Oh. It seems to like entering me in these as soon as I'm in a cutscene. The third circle. Danger chicken. Danger chicken. Got salsa off. Nice. like it's going to be a line. Yep, I read that correctly. Oh, we need to kill those. Pull them apart, pull them apart. Over here. Ow. Okay, that's going to the middle. There we go. The Phaionix has fallen. The danger chicken has fallen. With that, the Phaionix is shackled once more. However, there is yet the other the matter of this arena. As you've told us, there is but one person in Ampheldios with the ability and authority to wield such magics. Though fortunately, it appears he has saved us the trouble of finding him. A contemptible display, as befits an inferior specimen. Even so, I expected it would at least just delay your advance. I imagine my surprise when I saw the chains of interment drag the Phalanx back into its cage. Either the bird is even more of a failure than its creators cared to admit, or you are no mere trespassers. I had hoped our suspicions were misplaced, but alas. Keyword in Ffxiv? Why? Why have you brought such chaos to your beloved Pandemonium? Pandemonium. Pateless, impenetrable, and utterly steadfast, unlike those charged with its keeping. What has possessed you? I don't understand. Oh, Ericthonius, must you pester me with those inane questions? Think for yourself. Surely you can muster a theory or two with that dim wit of yours. Then again, you have never been one for insight. Why Master La Habrea suffered your mediocrity, I shall never understand. You may look like him, but you're not the Hesperos I know. Something has warped you, too, from the inside out. The keyword and I know had compassion for all those under his charge, but be they clad in robes or shackled in chains. Was that all a farce? Did you hide your contempt for us all these years? Those who are content to merely glimpse the water's surface are doomed to be dragged into its depths. You prove my opinion of you with every word. My mind is cleverer than it has ever been. Mind is clearer than it has ever been. Even now, seeing you feebly grasp for answers makes the bile rise in my throat. Such wasted potential to be son to Master La Habrea, yet no more skilled with magic than a newborn babe. But of course, it's always about La Habrea. Silence, you are not worthy to utter his name. For once, be grateful to witness a feat of beyond your meager abilities, beyond your shallow reckoning. I have slipped the surly bonds of mortality. I have become one with our mystic creations, and rid myself of imperfections, and stand upon the threshold of godhood. As a Hermethos shall I serve La Habrea, ever faithful unto the end of days. And he shall require no other. I think not. Are you so blind by arrogance that you have lost sight of what it means to serve? Ericthonius is more capable than you could ever know. It was thanks to his instruction that I was able to master the art of interment, both how to wield it and how to break free of it. Wolfmage, let us put this ways. Whatever poison has corrupted Hephaestus' mind, it is plain his power far eclipses our own. We must have time to gather our strength. Weaklings though they may be, it takes a singular aptitude to master interment so quickly, to say nothing of how swiftly that familiar laid low the Phaeonics. Regardless, their noble aim will not be their noble aim will be their undoing. Where they fetter away their strength in calming the beasts of Asphaldios, I continue my work, even should they survive long enough to reach the heart of my domain. Naught shall await them but doom. I eagerly await your arrival, Ericthonius. Even dullards have their uses. Where's Ericthonius? Please leave me be. My darkest suspicions have been realized. We faced the key warden of Amphialdios himself. More than that revelation, however, Ericthonius worries me. He loved Hephaestus for his passion, but received naught but scorn from whatever the key warden has become. He has said little since our return. I only hope that the shock of recent events does not prove to be the death his resolve. Who wards the warders. Themis would offer what comfort he can to Ericthonius. Much as I am loath to disturb Ericthonius so soon after what just occurred, I am afraid circumstances do not afford us the luxury of time. Perhaps it will do him well to speak about recent events concerning both the key wards and his father. The creation of the ward which surrounds Pandemonium was an astounding feat of magical prowess, a feat accomplished by none other than Ffxiv. That both my father and I can bind others in chains is perhaps the only thing that we have in common. And so it's true. I am Ffxiv's son, bereft of his talent for magic or his brilliant mind, but his son nonetheless. Surely this doesn't come entirely as a surprise to you. Nay, I had an inkling when you said you had practiced ethereal shackles since childhood, assuming you haven't been employed here quite that long. It had to indicate some long-held connection with Ffxiv. It was Ffxiv that taught me how to cast ethereal shackles, but that was it. My father's education was overseen by the wards of Ffxiv. My further education was overseen by the wards of Ffxiv, more specifically my mother, who was a researcher there. You speak of Athena, chief keyword before Ffxiv. She is your mother, yes? How astute. I can see now why you were chosen to lead this investigation. You've the right of it. Athena was my mother, and it was she who invited me to join her here. Ffxiv had nothing to do with it. I see there is little love lost between you two. What I cannot say is why Ffxiv was appointed chief keywarden when another was already in place. Was in place. My mother is no longer with us. And Ffxiv was all too eager to assume her responsibilities, with nary a moment spared to mourn her. What love I do owe him now. What love do I owe him now, when he offered not a drop of compassion then? I see. She is no longer with us. An expression to convey the end of a life. I have known only the public face of La Habrea, while he is allowed lauded for his ability to maintain composure in the face of unnerving circumstances, I must admit that oft he comes across as cold. Drink? Okay, I'll drink. Apologies, but can we speak of something else? This topic isn't an easy one for me to discuss. Of course, there's more pressing matters at hand. After all, namely, how to deal with Hephaestus. We have yet to see the other borders. Judging by what we know, we can surmise that Hephaestus has confined them somewhere beyond our grasp. Now that he is aware of our presence, we will be preparing for our next. He will be preparing for our next encounter. We cannot expect to face him on equal footing. Quite the opposite, in fact. Every moment we spend chasing after the creations is another moment. Hephaestus can contrive another advantage for himself. The wisest course would be to find him first and foremost. He said that he has become one with the creations. Perhaps that means he is vulnerable to internment. In theory, that should be possible. However, is it enough merely to confine him after all he has done? I need to know why. I need to know what drove him to forsake everything he worked for. Was it all truly that he could serve so that he could serve his master? To my mind, he merely put La Habrea's own work at risk in trade for some nebulous power. La Habrea is the chief keyworder, the Brandemonium. Now, how would throwing it into disarray win his favor? It doesn't make any sense. I share your curiosity, but we must consider that our enemy has us at a disadvantage in every sense. What do you think? Should we seek to put him in fetters, or would it be too dangerous to allow him to quarter? If you fail to confine him, I can always strike him down. Daring as ever, I see, to know not which trials. I know not which trials you have faced in your past, but I see you so. But to see you so certain is all too convincing. The convincing I need. Very well, let us try Erchthonius' plan. Thank you, Wolf Mage. I believe I can shed some light on the nature of our foe. When Hephaestus spoke with us, I noticed he bore the telltale fangs of the very... Oh! Quiz! Valeriacos, a beast which feeds off the ether of its prey. Likely that is the creation Hephaestus merged his essence with. And we know all too well that he can change the environment around himself at will. The battle will not be an easy one, but I believe in our victory. However, given that we've been streaming for 3 hours, I think this is a good place to stop for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my stream. I hope you guys stop by again. Until next time, I've been Wolf Mage 1011. I'll see you guys then. Bye!